episode 118 of Anime and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Shawn.
And this is the review show that reviews anime from A to Z. Sort of.
Alright, so we got Yuri On Ice for category Y.
It doesn't affect me anymore.
Well, you still said something.
Well, it's been a long time since I have said something, but you always say category just to prod at me.
Alright. Yuri On Ice is a Japanese sports anime television series about figure skating. So, sports anime, I mean, they're pretty loose with the word sport. Anyway, it came out in 2017. Apparently it was really well received in Tokyo, won a bunch of awards. It was the most sold DVD and Blu-ray in 2017 of any anime, and it was the 8th most bought item or whatever in Japan.
I understand why. This show is way better than it has any right to be.
Oh, it's terrible, but I get what you're saying. Any premise.
Why are you telling me the premise? This is your job.
Premise. It's figure skating.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, we got a figure skater who's down on his luck.
Was romance a tag in this? I don't think it was. I think it was comedy.
I don't think it is, and we'll get to that, but I have a major issue with this show because of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's about a figure skater down on his luck. He worships another figure skater, and...
Victor something.
Yeah, Victor. He's the greatest figure skater, so... He imitates one of his things in the off-season, and Victor decides to retire and be his coach so that he can win the figure skating thing.
Yes. Because he's always choked. He's never won gold. And the main character's name is Yuri, because Yuri on Ice, right? And Victor's the coach. There's another Yuri P, who's Russian.
Yes.
Just like Victor is.
Yep.
And those are the main three.
But that's why I know this show is way better than it has every right to be. Right off the bat, we know 3 characters' names.
That's fair, but I mean...
They're well in the
Victor and the heavy Russian accent, like, it's easy to remember that. That's not something that's difficult.
Yeah, but we forgot easy Japanese names all the time. But the show is well written for what it is.
Sort of.
And the characters are...
There's not much story there. The dialogue's well written.
And the character development, the slice of life stuff is written really well.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it is.
Yeah.
This is obviously not aimed at you or me.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we come down on the negative side of it because we don't like it because it's not for us.
The art's decent. The music's a tad repetitive, but it's nice. Because you'd think for figure skating, I don't know much about it, but I know they all have like very unique songs they dance to. Or, I guess, skate to. And it's like the same 2 songs.
Right. And I think if you were into figure skating, you would like this show.
Well, there's two types of people that would be into this. Someone who's into figure skating, and someone who's not 100% straight.
So someone
would really like this, especially if you're a teenager and you're just kind of figuring yourself out.
Well, that's the problem I have with this show, and this is going to sound really bad, but hear me out.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a problem with the depiction of homosexuality in this show.
Yeah, it's very weirdly done.
Well, my problem is Victor and the main character Yuri are clearly in a gay relationship.
Yeah, they kiss at one point. They're all over each other.
They don't actually.
They do.
Do they?
When Victor, jumps on... I forget what episode it was. It was 6 or something. When they jump and fall on the ice together at the end of one of the
I don't think that was
matches.
A kiss.
Technically, they kissed, because I read the description and it said they kissed.
Oh, okay, because it didn't look like it.
Yeah, I think for the American dubbed, I think they edited it slightly.
They edited it out slightly, because there is a lot of innuendo in this.
Oh, yeah. All the time, especially in the second half. The first half wasn't as bad.
A lot of gay innuendo, and there's a lot of hinting at
things are happening,
but they never follow through on it, with the exception, I guess, of that one kiss.
Yeah,
but they never show it. It's always played up.
They even get pseudo engaged at the end,
and they always play it up as like Victor says, "Okay, we're engaged" or "We're in love," but they play it up as if he's just pushing buttons, like it's a joke or something.
Yes.
So my problem is either A, they think homosexuality is a joke, and this was just a whole big thing, just a joke around Yuri. Or B, they're cowards and didn't go through with it and didn't want to isolate anyone.
It also could have been they just wanted to touch on it a little and not go all the way because it could have pissed people off.
That's what I mean. It's cowardice.
I mean, it was clearly well received, like I said, so
but it's still,
people liked it.
And I'm not coming at this from a political point of view or a social point of view at all. This is purely from a writing standpoint.
I agree. I felt like they should have just went with it.
This is a half-baked story. As a writer myself, when you get to a certain point in the story writes itself, and you're just supposed to let it flow and let it happen. The story was clearly going one place, but they didn't pull the trigger and let it happen.
Well, there might be more. There's a film, so maybe that continues the story a little bit. I doubt they would actually go that route because they weren't going that route in the anime. And I think there might be a second season at some point. Even if they don't make it, I think the manga has more chapters in it.
But that's not what we watched.
No, it's not.
It's fine if they go it later, but in this instance, in an American audience, from what we saw, it's bad as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
We were watching, it was a while ago, but there was like a commercial for like the opposite of this, the two girls liking each other.
Oh, I don't know.
Whatever it was on. They were doing a commercial for it, but they showed them and like kissing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
girls is always a little more acceptable, right?
I get that, but it's my point is it's cowardice.
Hypocrite too.
And hypocritical, yeah. So, and that was my biggest problem from it, from a writing standpoint.
Oh, sure, I agree. Now, I think this is the most homoerotic anime we've watched so far.
Exactly.
By far. Even the Yukikaze doesn't quite get to this level.
Right.
It was a bit much.
Which is why it made me mad.
A lot of characters being naked, but they're just barely not showing genitals.
Which is why it made me mad, because it's clearly happening. It's clearly there, but you're not... well, I don't want to see it, but you're not actually convincing...
If you're going to make a romance anime, and it's essentially what they did, there has to be a payoff at the end.
Yeah, there has to be a romance.
There has to be a conclusion to it, and there was no conclusion.
Right. I mean, even at the end, there was pseudo-engagement.
I think the romance that was in there was fine, but there was never the climax.
Right. But that's my point. The romance is fine for what it is, and I got it, but I was trying to move past it, but you were laughing. But the romance is fine, but, you have to show them in that relationship. Yeah. You can't just say, oh, we're just kidding every other thing.
The story. Did they get together? Did they not get together? Is that not what you were aiming for? Is it a bromance and they're actually straight?
Yeah.
What is this?
Because not every character in this is gay. There's a lot of heterosexuality.
A lot of homoeroticness with the other characters too, but yeah, they're clearly not. They have girlfriends.
And stuff like that, yeah. So, I mean, and that was all depicted fine.
You know what this anime did a lot? There was a lot of end credit scenes in the episodes. Did you notice that? I
don't know if I watched the end credit
Almost, not every, but almost every episode had it.
Yeah.
Where there was a little extra at the end. Like, I don't know if it was the last one or the second to last one, but remember how they were talking about how they got drunk at the last Grand Prix final?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, at the end of that episode, you see the drunk dancing and pole dancing. Nearly completely naked.
Yeah, no, I missed all of them.
Yeah, it was a little much. For which, let's be honest, it's not a R-rated anime or whatever the rating system is. It's for adults. This is pointed towards children, so it's a bit much. But is it any more than the anime with women with their tits hanging out?
I would argue.
Probably not.
I would argue teenage girls, but
yes, I think it's towards teenage girls and boys. Because again, like I said, if you're not 100% straight, this is definitely for you.
Yeah, obviously, but it's just bothered me on different levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, we're two 30-year-old straight men, so...
I mean, it's true, but like if it was, like what you were saying earlier, if they had that completion to the story that they were writing, I might not have, been championing this as my favorite anime, but I could still appreciate the story for what it was.
Right. And some of the story is actually really well written. Like you said, the dialogue is actually really well written in this.
Mm-hmm. The voice acting's done really well.
Yes.
The American voice acting. Surprisingly well.
Then there's the problem of the sport they chose.
Yeah, it's figure skating. It's like sport quotation mark.
Well, it would be different if they did a different figure skate at like each event, but they do the same routine.
Yes, I wonder if that's a thing. I don't know enough about figure skating to know that.
I think it is. I think that's how it is.
Like you pick one routine and then you do that over and over again, and hopefully you win.
Right.
But what was also a thing is like he had a routine that he was supposed to do X moves throughout the dance or skate or whatever. And every single time he went to do the competition, he would change it.
Right.
Like, you wonder why you're always f***ing losing. You practicing, your A game, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to do B and C game. No, that's not how that works. You wonder why you lost.
But it's just ultimately boring watching it. And it's not like they only show pieces of the figure skate. They show the whole dance, and they usually show every character's dance.
And a lot of it is reused. A lot of the dance and skating that they're doing is reused from other ones, and sometimes they'll just do different music or different dubbing because he's thinking about something different at the time.
So essentially the whole show is based on a boring premise of
boring for us.
Well, boring sport, honestly.
Boring sport, again, sport quotation mark, and gay romance that They were not particularly
I would
into.
argue
That wasn't done well?
I would argue it's even boring for what it is because people who like figure skating will probably watch it live and stuff like that.
And it's like, you could really go more into what they're physically doing for the training.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do a sport anime, I've watched some good ones and I've watched a lot of bad ones. It's purely from a sport aspect, this is bad.
Right. And so, I mean, and this is also written. So there's a preordained story. Like, it's so cliched now that the main character does not win the championship. It's like, yeah, we know he's going to do really, really well.
And
then he's going to not quite enough, and he'll get him next time.
But it's the whole Rocky thing. I went the distance. And that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's okay. Like I said, if you're not 100% straight, it's probably for you. If you're, really into figure skating, like I would say if you're a fan of figure skating, this is good for you. Not if you're into figure skating. Because like we said, it doesn't really go into the training aspect of it. Right. It doesn't really show off how difficult these moves are.
Right. Like I said, this is actually, I was going to say this is a cliche, not a cliche, where it's a narrow fan base.
Oh, niche.
A niche anime. But apparently it's extremely popular. Yeah. So, but I guess not. I mean, but this is the review you're going to get from
us. Yeah, it's well received in Japan is what the wiki was saying.
Oh yeah,
I don't think it won any awards in America, for instance.
No,
it was all right. I mean, I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not the worst anime we've seen.
I'd say it's slightly above average. It's just the writing of the romance didn't do the full completion, and the sport aspect kind of was lacking. If it wasn't for those two things, it would probably be higher on the list, higher on points.
Yeah. But, I mean, for what it is...
I'd say it's a 6 or 7.
I wouldn't go that high.
I'd say it's slightly above average. 6?
Yeah, but I don't know.
5's average, right?
Well, no, that's fine for you, but for me, the writing and the portrayal of everything brought it down that extra point. So I'm like at a 5. That's a high 5, but...
Yeah.
To steal one of your things.
5.9.
But, I don't know. Even us giving this a 5 after what we thought we were going to get is pretty impressive.
Man, you know what? I thought it was going to be super gay and super, homoerotic going into it, but, I had no idea. The second half of that season is just weird.
And honestly, the fact that they went over the top with it, I think, helped it a little more.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. It wasn't... Because if it was more subtle and,
it'd be a little more insulting, I think.
Yeah. Anyway. 5, 6, that's pretty fair, I think.
Yeah, considering...
What else did we have for Y?
Y was... I'm trying to think of the bad one, because there's the 2 good ones, but... Oh, Yukikaze was...
we did talk about that. We did
talk about that one. Yukikaze.
I can't remember my opinion on it, other than I didn't really like it.
Well, we didn't like it, but we also spend, the whole review talking about how gay they were. But... That's still the best.
Yuri On Ice.
It was Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho. That's number 1.
And Your Lie in April.
Ooh. Yeah. Which one is that?
Mine's Your Lie in April.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think Yu Yu Hakusho, then Your Lie in April, then Yukikaze, then this.
Yu Yu Hakusho has too many episodes.
That's true.
And it starts off too slow.
I love a good shonen.
But it also starts really slow.
I love a good show. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I've probably seen Yu Yu Hakusho 4 or 5 times to its completion.
You have your opinion, I have mine.
I've seen You're Not Lying April twice.
Right.
But once is because of this.
Right. But I still think that's a better show than Yu Yu Hakusho.
That's fair. But it's tighter. It's, it's a more clear story, beginning to end, much shorter.
And then, what did you say were your other 2?
I said Yukikaze than this, but, how big was Yukikaze? Was that 24 episodes? Because if it was, this first.
I don't think it was. I think it was...
I remember being very slow-paced.
No, we got it done in one day because we did it right before we did D&D.
Might have been a 2-hour thing. I think it was a single episode that was long or a 2 or 3 episode thing.
No, I think it was 4 episodes.
Either way.
And we had time, so when we spun it, we actually did it the same day we did a spin review.
Yeah, I'll go Yukikaze than this.
Yeah, just because it's shorter.
That's fair. Alright, so we're spinning categories. Let's give it a spin. There's not much on here. Zatch Bell, Zenkyu Century, Zetman, Zinba, Zpang, and Zoids.
And we got Zimba.
Zinba.
I don't even know what that is.
It sounds something like Simba, but we already got that anime.
Yeah, no, we did that one already.
Simba. Oh, wow. It's like Pokemon or Digimon, but redone. Wow, 52 episodes.
Well, we're not doing that.
That's for damn sure. Tags are action, adventure, comedy, demons, magic, superpower. You want to read it?
You don't want to read it? It's kind of your thing.
The juvenile Can from the Earth is summoned to the kingdom of Toria, where he encounters attack from the giant creature Zenba. That's poorly written. And he's rescued by the Linker Shibuki and Uranus. Later, he accidentally gets on the Linker squad. I don't know what any of this means. I don't know. It's going to be an adventure anime, I guess.
It actually looks
with Pokemon.
It looks a little more like Digimon, honestly.
Yeah, it does look a little more like Digimon.
But
I wonder if they're going to talk.
It's 52 episodes, so I think we're going to pull like a Ninja Hattori and just watch what we
get to. The first one that says quits.
Yeah, we'll do it that way. Because this doesn't look like it's a season thing. It looks like it's just 52 episodes.
Yeah.
Because it's a weird number. 52 is just weird. So
I usually go over the end of the first big arc, which will probably be 12-ish episodes. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know.
Alright guys, next episode. Simba.
Bye.